That's some footage from Iran as the protests are now entering their 6th day. Meanwhile, the death toll has continued to go up, and there is growing concern that this protest movement could topple the Iranian regime itself. Overnight, 9 more protesters were killed on the 5th night of demonstrations, which brings the death toll to about 24 killed officially. Over the last few days, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei, who spoke a short time ago, blamed enemies for fueling the unrest. Protesters now are starting to attack police stations and military bases. One policeman was allegedly shot dead by a demonstrator. Several hundred arrests now around the country. In Tehran alone, more than 450. Protests have popped up in dozens of cities across the country, cities big and small, driven in large part by social media. The Iranian government is still cutting off internet access as tens of millions of Iranians are sharing and spreading information and videos about these protests on social media. In one viral video today, a police officer assigned to cover a protest in the city tells the protesters he's not there to shoot anyone and that he sympathizes with their movement. Take a listen. And joining me now in our studio is Iranian expert and scholar, Dr. Gindin. Doctors, thanks so much for being with us. I guess, especially now that we're in the 6th day of these protests, the lingering question I have is this started in one city, a small protest that by all accounts had less than 5,000 people. And in just a matter of days, this has ballooned into a nationwide movement that threatens the stability of the regime itself. How could it happen so quickly?
First of all, it didn't start 6 days ago. It just got media coverage 6 days ago, and then the media coverage with social media coverage made it larger, and now it's really all over Iran. The hashtag in Twitter is Tazahurat Sarasari, protests everywhere, and it's literally everywhere.
So how much of this is social media driven? Telegram especially, one estimate is 40 million users within Iran. How much of this is driven by the rise of social media within Iran?
I would say all or most of it, because I follow channels of both protesters and regime supporters. And the protesters' channels are full with, today in this city at this time, it's full of calls for demonstration, literally all over.
All right, so what about Rouhani? He seems to be walking a fine line at this point, knowing the world's paying attention, saying, I'm going to allow demonstrations that are peaceful, but we will crack down hard on things that disrupt the public order, any violence. You know, it's walking a fine line, isn't it? I mean, is he going to crack down harder? Is he indicating he's willing to accept this, though, if it's calm?
First of all, the president is the head of the executive branch, so he's not the one who really makes the decisions. He follows orders. He executes. I know that the demonstrations themselves are much more violent this year than in previous demonstrations.
2009.
In 2009, in 2011, there was something, an attempt in 2011. But today, when they call for demonstrations, they say, and if they beat you, beat them back. They burn banks, they destroy stores, or they destroy offices, government offices.
It's getting more violent. Let's listen to a short time ago. The Ayatollah Khamenei spoke for the first time. Let's listen together and I'll get your reaction to what he had to say.
The enemy is poised for an opportunity, a breach to penetrate through. Look at the incidents of the past few days. All those who are against the Islamic Republic of Iran, those with cash, politics, weapons and intelligence apparatus, join hands so they may be able to create troubles for the Islamic regime, for the Islamic Republic.
Doctor, what do you make of that message, asking people to join hand against the common threat from the enemies? Who is he talking to there?
He's talking to people who are called Sandis drinkers, the people who support the regime. Most of them support the regime, or all of them, because they get something. They're called Sandis drinkers because when the regime organizes demonstration in support of itself, there's this drink, Sandis, which is distributed to the protesters.
In English, you call it drinking the Kool-Aid, right? That's the expression.
Yeah, he had to say that. He couldn't say anything else.
Yeah.
There's an attempt now to identify nationalism with the Islamic Republic of Iran, while up until a few years ago, or still, nationalism is against the Islamic Republic of Iran, the Islamic Republic, and for Iran. He's trying to get the nationalists on his side. And his public appearance is very important, no matter what he said, because there have been rumors that he left the country. So this, more than his words, it says, I'm still here. His
appearance. Let me introduce in this conversation Daria Safai. She's an Iranian women's rights activist joining us from California right now. Daria, thanks so much for being with us. I want to ask, who is the driving force behind these protests, especially perhaps how it's different than 2009? Are these protesters educated, middle-class people? Are they students? Are they blue-collar workers without a job?
Yes, actually, as you said, there are young people, middle classes, the people, all, because they want the change. The difference between this demand and what they have done in 2009 in Green Movement is that there they searched, where is my vote? So they wanted to change inside the system. But now the young people who are fed up of all of the problems that they have in the country, they are just seeking for freedom, and they don't search it inside that system and that regime. They want the total change. They want the changing of the regime, and that's the slogans that which are chanting and shouting in the streets. Says enough that get lost the clerics.
Daria, can I ask you just personally, for someone who escaped Iran and is watching this now unfold in your home country, what's going through your mind as an Iranian, and what's your hope as the protests keep going?
Oh, I understand very well what you are asking, because as you know, I don't know if you know, I have been there 18 years ago in 1999 in the first manifestation against the regime. I was there as a student of last year dentistry. So I know very well what they are searching, what they are hoping. There are a lot of hopes. And what is very interesting in this energetic young people is that they are not tired, they are not afraid of oppression. I mean, of course you are always afraid, but they are still very strong, and they go together hand in hand, and they are asking for fundamental change of regime. This is really nice to see, and it's hopeful. I know even if not now today, but in some days, very soon, the changes will come.
All right. Thank you so much, Daria. Appreciate you being with us. Let's hear now some reaction from Israeli leadership. Israel's prime minister says that the allegations they're involved in any way are laughable, but says he supports the movement, even called the demonstrators heroic. In fact, Channel 10 News reports the foreign ministry says this movement itself could threaten the stability itself of the Islamic Republic regime.
Iran's President Rouhani's claim that Israel